In 1897, a cargo ship travels from Romania to England. When it is discovered on the shores, it is derelict, with no survivors on board. A lighthouse crew finds the wreckage and recovers a captain's log detailing the events that led to the crew's demise. 4 days earlier, Captain Elliot and his first mate Wojciech search for crew members to board the Demeter for the voyage to England. They are approached by a doctor named Clemens, who previously studied at Cambridge. Wojciech initially rejects Clemens in favor of 3 other men, but Clemens decides to follow them anyway. As the crew gathers cargo onto the ship, one of the men becomes alarmed upon noticing a crate with a dragon symbol on it. The sight unnerves him, and he loses his grip on the crate. It slips and nearly crushes Elliot's grandson Toby, but Clemens rescues him in time. The man, convinced the dragon symbol is a bad omen, decides to leave. Elliot, grateful for Clemens' actions, allows him to join the crew, which includes Abrams, Olgarin, Petrovsky, Larson, and Joseph. Toby gives Clemens a tour of the ship, introducing him to the livestock and his dog, Huckleberry. Later, Clemens dines with the crew and shares that his goal is to understand the workings of the world. Meanwhile, the crate with the dragon symbol begins to move and falls over, and something appears to emerge from it. As the voyage continues, the crew discovers that something has brutally killed Huckleberry and the livestock. Toby is heartbroken over Huck's death, as he was entrusted by Elliot to care for the animals. Clemens consoles him. After tossing the dead animals overboard, the crew investigates the cargo and finds a barely alive woman hidden inside one of the crates. Clemens administers blood transfusions to stabilize her condition. Petrovsky makes derogatory remarks about Clemens and the woman, leading to a confrontation that is interrupted when Larson threatens Clemens with a knife. Later, Toby informs Clemens that the woman has begun to speak faintly and that her name is Anna. At night, Petrovsky is keeping watch on deck while the rest of the crew sleeps. He hears a knocking sound and goes to investigate. He then sees a sickly-looking creature crawling on deck. Before he can react, the creature lunges at him, slashing his throat with its claws and draining his blood. The crew grows alarmed when they find Petrovsky's blood smeared across the deck. Wojciech accuses Clemens, even though Clemens was the one who reported Petrovsky's death. Later that night, Olgarin and Larson are keeping watch when the same creature attacks Larson, dragging his face across the deck before devouring him. Olgarin climbs high up the ship's rigging to escape, but the creature follows and bites into his head, leaving him alive but severely injured. Olgarin is strapped to a bed to be tended to, but as night falls, he breaks free from his bindings and goes after Toby, having become a bloodthirsty drone. Toby hides in the captain's quarters and locks himself inside. The rest of the crew realizes something is wrong and heads below deck. They subdue Olgarin and try to break through the door, but Toby is being hunted by the creature. Anna arrives and uses a rifle to blow the lock off the door, but by then, the creature has attacked Toby and drained most of his blood. Abrams is assigned to keep watch on the deck that night. Joseph, desperate to escape, knocks Abrams out and attempts to flee using a lifeboat. However, the creature flies after him, kills him, and allows the bloodied lifeboat to drift back to the Demeter. While Toby is placed in care, Olgarin is strapped to the ship's mast. He claims he can hear every sound, the wind, the ocean, and the blood pumping through everyone's veins. As the sun rises, Olgarin begins to complain of a burning sensation. When sunlight touches his skin, he violently combusts in agony, prompting Wojciech to shoot him in the head. Anna speaks with Clemens and explains the source of the horror. In her village, she lived near a castle where the creature resided. The creature is none other than Dracula. He had bitten Anna and intended to use her as a source of blood, but Clemens's transfusions prevented her from turning into a creature like Olgarin. Elliot suggests stopping at the next port for the crew's safety, but they protest, fearing they will forfeit the bonus payment promised to them. Fearing Toby will suffer the same fate, the crew wraps him in a sheet and prepares to throw his body into the ocean. After Anna says a prayer, Elliot, consumed by grief, becomes delusional and believes Toby is moving. He opens the sheet, revealing Toby's vampiric transformation. The sunlight burns Toby, and Elliot suffers burns from touching him. They throw Toby into the ocean where he dies, leaving Elliot in despair. As the Demeter nears England, the crew worries about the consequences of bringing Dracula ashore. Elliot, increasingly delusional, believes Dracula can be used to revive Toby, but Anna talks him out of it. The crew decides to make a final stand against Dracula by sinking the ship, though Wojciech protests, claiming the vessel as his home. When night falls, the crew prepares for Dracula's attack. The vampire swoops in and kills Abrams first. Elliot declares his intention to go down with the ship. Wojciech falls through the deck and breaks his leg, and Dracula kills him before turning his attention to Elliot. Clemens confronts Dracula, but the vampire grabs him by the throat. When Clemens declares he is not afraid, Dracula speaks for the first time, saying, "You will." Anna fires a rifle at Dracula and then cuts the mast, pinning him down. She and Clemens escape the Demeter as it crashes against the shores of England, while Dracula flees into the darkness. At dawn, Clemens sees Anna beginning to revert to vampirism. Although he offers another transfusion, she insists it will only delay the inevitable. She bids him farewell and separates from him as the sun rises, burning her to death. Clemens reaches London, where the entire Demeter crew is reported dead. At a pub, he seeks information about the abbey where Dracula once lived. He hears the same ominous knocking sound from the ship and realizes Dracula is in London, disguised as a man and carrying the wolf-headed cane he brought aboard. Clemens follows Dracula into the streets, vowing to hunt him down and send him back to hell. What did you think about the chilling story of The Last Voyage of the Demeter? Which moment left you on the edge of your seat? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.